I think a great backstory should ideally be able to be made into a feature film. We look at a backstory and say, could we make an entertaining, compelling, and internationally recognised hour and a half out of this? If you look at a lot of the great brands, they could easily be made into that.
I'm not in line for an inheritance, but if I was, I would be very tempted to set up my own gin brand. So imagine I've inherited $5 million, but this gin will be a new product. I don't have a backstory. How do I create a backstory? How do I make this an authentic product that people will want to pay $40 or $50 for?
You will have an authentic story. There is always a story. There's always authenticity. What we would probably do is sit down with you and just try and find out where you had this idea, or where you were, or who you were with, or what you were wearing. For example, the fact that you're wearing a blue jumper right now, we could base the whole brand on the blue jumper that you're wearing and call it Blue Jumper Gin. It doesn't mean that you have to have some deep story that goes back hundreds of years to your ancestors or indeed to your location. It can be much more to do with the fact that actually you've just got a great idea on the spur of the moment, and that could actually be the spirit of the brand literally as you go through it.
Could you show me how you would build my brand?
Maybe the botanicals that we're using that add those amazing flavours, the junipers, etc., come from a particular part of the world that you've got a friend in Croydon that grows them, or something like that. You could have a berry wearing a jumper, for example, something like that. So it's charming. If you can find a charmless sector and introduce charm, that you're very likely to win and have an advantage.
Great, so on the label we're going to have a juniper berry in a jumper.
Yeah, we are. Believe it or not, we are. Let's embrace weird. Weird often works in these instances.
How do you think my gin will do? Do you think it'll be a bestseller?
So, overnight success is a very rare thing, and I'm afraid we will have to work at this. I think the other thing to bear in mind is that branding is never finished. It's a constant iterative process. So the first launch of this gin will probably be received well by some parties and poorly by others, and we will learn and create you another version.
We could actually have Blue Jumper Gin, the feature film.
Absolutely, where we could do the story based on that moment where you had that idea, you were wearing that blue jumper very fetchingly, then the rest became history.